Tri-State Audi. Visit your Tri-State area Audi dealer today. Game 1 of the NBA Finals. Victor Wembanyama, 26 points, but the Knicks able to prevail. Jalen Brunson doing Jalen Brunson things. Knicks down 1, hits the key 3, and then Brunson with another key bucket. He goes for a huge fourth quarter, 13 points, and the Knicks win game 1. Watch parties here, there, and everywhere, cheering on the Knicks to a game 1 victory, 105-95. Great to have you with us from our Delta MSG studios. Bill Pito, Alan Hahn, Steve Novak, Wally Zerbiak. Let's get right to Landry Shamet, our BritBox player interview, BritBox stream, the best of British TV. Landry, congrats. You guys are down 14 points in the third quarter. You came back again. You prevailed down the stretch. How did you guys pull it off tonight?
You know, we told ourselves we just need to keep chipping away. You know, we know with leads like that, you're not going to get it back in one possession. So this was just on staying solid. A lot of emotions, game 1 of an NBA Finals. You know, so I think early in the first half we weren't playing great. The deficit wasn't really where it wasn't out of reach or anything crazy. I think we got a little bit too emotional early, but you know, we settled in. Stuck with our principles, and I say it all the time. You do that, you know, good things typically happen.
You talk about, you know, you're emotional. Obviously, it's the NBA Finals. These things happen. You get into a game, you start to feel it out. When you get to halftime in that locker room, what is the conversation going on with such a veteran group? What was the conversation at halftime? What was the adjustment?
You can feel it. I mean, we all can feel it. You know, we kind of knew and had a feeling like, all right, let's settle in, bro. Like, you know, let's be us, be ourselves. You know, settle in, take care of the things we can control. And that was really the emphasis.
Landry, how important is the leadership when we see the ball in Jalen Brunson's hand late in the game? What kind of confidence does it give you when you've been on the court with a guy in these big moments, now 12 straight playoff wins, 7 straight road wins? What kind of confidence does it give you when you see the ball in the captain's hands late in games to know no matter what the situation, no matter where the game is, this team can win the game?
Yeah, he's our captain for a reason. He's not afraid of the moment. He embraces it, and you know, feels good having a guy like that at the helm for sure.
Hey, Landry, thanks so much for joining us. Congrats on a great performance. Another great performance by the team, and we'll talk to you down the line. Game 2, of course, coming up on Friday night.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Guys, he was remarkable again. I mean, 13 points off the bench. Knicks closed the game on an 11-0 run. They're down 94-86. They went a stretch of about 4 minutes in the fourth quarter where they didn't score, but Shamet and everybody else able to come through, Al.
Yeah. Before we even get to how the game ended, let's just take a look at Landry Shamet's contributions to this game. You mentioned the 13 points. The bench got 28 points in this game. The Spurs bench, which has been very good for them, got 20. This is what you're looking for when you're on the road. Can your bench outplay a home team bench? That's not easy to do, guys, but Shamet came in confident in his shooting, 3 for 6 from downtown. That's a big part of this for him. He has been lights out in the postseason from 3.
Yeah, and you need his eyes on the perimeter and his effort defensively, and he's a guy that's been in the finals. And, you know, he knows how to execute, even though the other team on the road hit first. Spurs played really good basketball for 3 quarters. The Knicks never lost their composure. I think that's a great sign for the rest of this series. This locker room stayed tight. They stayed connected in a hostile environment. They walked them down by getting stops. That was the key. Josh Hart was huge. He was in foul trouble at the beginning. You see how important he is at the end of the game. He got every loose ball, every free rebound, and then he comes out of the pack, the smallest guy in there, gets it, fast break buckets. Jalen Brunson on the other end. What a performance by this Knicks team again. Another double-digit road victory.
Amazing.
7 straight.
You know how hard that is to do? Win on the road, let alone do it?
Here's how
7
hard
in a
it
row?
is. Here's how hard it is. It's never been done in NBA history.
Well, it was never done at 6. Now it's definitely never done at 7. Duh.
You're paying attention.
Yes,
That's good.
I am.
And oh, by the way, the Knicks have won 12 straight playoff games. They won 12 games in a row. So it's
really amazing.
Knicks down 14 in the third quarter, as I mentioned. It's tied after the third quarter. And then the Knicks, Steve Novak, 11-0 run to close. 11-0 run to close the game.
And this is just what we've seen time and time again, is this team is at their absolute best late in games. They've got guys who can step up. They've got a whole slew of guys off the bench, like we were just talking about with the Deuce McBride. And the Landry Shamits, the impact that guys like Mitch come in the game and they have on not just regular season games, not just home games. We're talking about NBA Finals on the road. And so the ability for this team to put the ball in whoever's hands is open, and for those guys to deliver, I think is the most impressive part. It is not predictable. It really is unbelievable.
Tell you what, though, this guy's special.
He is.
That's a step back three, down 8, drills it, so now it's 5. Shot. You know, he started, he put a little scare in you because they went 9-0. There's an N1.
Yep.
So he's letting you know, okay, I'm home, I'm the star, I'm 22 years old, I got to make some plays. But how about this play?
This is the play of the game.
Huge play by Jalen Brunson, a tap back, and then bucket.
Guys, they've gone almost 5 minutes without scoring before that.
If you don't make that
the
shot,
extra possession is crucial to get you an extra possession off an offensive
rebound. Look at this, he dribbles off his foot.
How about Josh Hart?
Dribbles off his foot, the old foot trick. And then Jalen Brunson, this is a tough shot. This is great defense.
Wow, give me a break.
Bang.
No, I just mean, when you talk about Mr. Clutch, right, and big shot making, I mean, just look at the look in Patrick Ewing's eye.
We got watch parties outside MSG, Plaza 33.
The whole damn city.
No one sleeps tonight.
Inside MSG, we got Central Park, we got orange and blue everywhere. And this was very much like game 1 against Cleveland. Obviously, the Knicks weren't down by as many points. They're a little bit shaky in terms of their execution. Then they pull it out. Here are your numbers here for the games. For the game, let's take a look at
second chance points. Monster number there, 23
points in the paint, 50 against Wemby. That's good.
Yeah, that's really, a lot of Brunson.
That's really good.
A ton of Brunson. But the second chance points early on, it was San Antonio getting a lot of the offensive rebounds, getting a lot of the second chance points. The Knicks turned that. Turnovers. Remember, Knicks had 8 in the first half. They had 1 in the second half. That's a big part of it, too. They were turning the ball over, things that were uncharacteristic. I love what Landry Shamit said. We knew what was going on. We understood it. We talked about it. We made adjustments, came out. They knew exactly what they needed to do. That's a veteran team.
It is a veteran team, and I think this game, and now being at the end of game 1, it really is very telling because we've watched this team win 11 games in a row, and you thought, all right, another 8-day layoff. Let's just see how they respond. Can they be different than they were in that game 1 against Cleveland? They come out and you get a road win. Having home court advantage in the NBA Finals is a big deal. And for this team to be even more prepared for this series, I think it is just telling of, look, this team is who they look like they've been over those last 11 and now 12 games. And so a lot of games to play, plenty of series left. But getting this first win on the road against San Antonio, it again tells you just something else, another level of how good this team is playing. And yes, they are as good as they look right now.
Yeah, and individual matchups are the key to winning series like this. And look at the way Wembanyama and Karl-Anthony Towns match up. Karl-Anthony Towns is not scared of that guy. We didn't see it one bit. He went right at him. He defended him very solidly, made him take a lot of shots to get his points, 6 for 21. Karl-Anthony Towns looks quicker than Wembanyama. Yeah, he's not as long, but Towns is still 7 feet tall. And Towns looks like he's got a little bit of a foot speed advantage on Wembanyama. And if you push him, run him, he gets a little bit winded. I think Towns is going to be a huge key to this series because he can look Wembanyama in the eye and he can play him to a standstill.
Great segue, Wally, because Karl-Anthony Towns is our Untuck-It power player. Untuck-It, shirts designed to be worn untucked, untuckit.com. Bows for Allen. 18 and 12, Karl-Anthony Towns.
Just a double-double, that's what he does, and we saw this early in the game. If they were going to spread out and leave the paint open, he was just going to drive around Wembanyama. He's got a strength advantage, and he's got the quickness, like Wally said, finishing at the rim. This is an element of his game we saw a lot this season, and in this series, now against Cornet, it's even easier. And then the passing, which is also a big part of what he does. 18, 12 with 4 assists. Yes, he had some foul issues, but that's going to be part of his game because he plays so physical and aggressive. But for Karl-Anthony Towns, he's got to look at this matchup as a personal one. This has got to be for him where he says, okay, you know what? If I win my matchup, we win this series. And that's important. Like each series, it's been one player who's been the difference maker. In this series, he can be that guy.
All right, just getting started. Jalen Brunson, you can say the same thing about Jalen Brunson.
Born to play basketball.
Yeah, he banged up in the first half, a little of this, a little of that, and then he takes control of the game with the game on the line as he is the captain with 13 of his 30 in the fourth quarter. Big plays presented by Four Leaf Credit Union. One big play after another for Jalen Brunson. And, you know, he took 31 shots tonight, by far the most shot attempts taken by any Knick, but he had to do it tonight.
You know, you guys are the shooters. You guys are the players. When you get into a situation like he does, where you're not having a good game for 3 quarters, but your team is in it, and now it's winning time. Do those missed shots early in the game affect you? Are you thinking about those missed shots? What are you thinking about when you get to a 4th quarter?
You're thinking about just winning.
Right.
And the shots that he makes are not easy shots. I mean, he had to alter some of the shot trajectories that he's had to take because of Wembanyama, but it didn't affect him. I thought the huge thing that got him going into the 4th quarter was when he got a couple layups in transition before Wembanyama was back there and the defense was set. This play was massive. You get an extra possession in a game like this,
and hit that
when
shot,
they
you're down
couldn't
1.
score at all, those previous 4 possessions, and then this shot, I mean, that is just clutch gene personified.
Can my man get a whistle?
That is discount double check. Bring it on.
He can use it. The belt will look good on him. But I think to your point, it's like you see him making shots, you see him making plays, but when he speaks recently, especially at the finals media day, you hear him talk about, they say, what if they said you weren't strong enough? They said you weren't big enough. They said you couldn't lead your team. They said you're not that dude. No, but I just want to be, because I want to be serious about it. And now you're saying he says, but what I have, what you can't measure, which isn't, and Josh Hart hates it too, the analytics, I have heart. And when you see those tipped out plays, extra possessions from a guy who's one of the smallest guys on the court, and the ball ends up back in his hands, and then he makes the shot, and because he is clutch and he's all those things, he's doing it again. This isn't the first time we've seen it. This is the 12th win in a row in the playoffs. This is another step closer to a championship for this team. There's plenty of work to do, but he is that dude so far until they say he's not.
A couple other things we've got to mention, guys. OG Anunoby had 12 points in the 4th quarter. Finished with 17. Huge.
How about those threes?
Yeah.
Right in Wemby's
couple of big
face.
threes.
Right. And how about and Josh Hart, dogged by foul trouble in the first half, doesn't score much with 3 points, but 15 rebounds, 6 assists, 4 steals.
And plus 22 in his 27 minutes. So his impact when he was on the floor was notable. They had to get through it, and that just shows you, too, it's a 48-minute game. These are long games.
They are.
And the Knicks have really, what they've shown you in the playoffs, and we saw it again here, is you're dealing with the idea that just keep it close, fatigue factor.
Yeah.
And you saw it again. The Spurs, Wembanyama, you saw the fatigue factor kicking in late in that game. And I think that's something, again, to the Knicks' benefit. It's something that they have used to their advantage, the rest factor, playing a team that played a 7-game series. So early on, everybody's great. 4th quarter.
Also, the Knicks organization in the 4th quarter is elite. It is not easy to get an opponent that spaced out, to get Jalen Brunson the operating room that he has been able to operate with. And if you do send a double team at him, immediately they got the ball to Mikal Bridges in the middle and he got fouled. This team is so well schooled in the tightest situations in crunch time. That is why they're such good closers, along with having an elite talent in Jalen Brunson, not just his heart. He's an elite skill level talent to go along with his heart. I mean, those are not easy shots. Those are not easy plays to make. He is just really that good. He really is.
All right, guys, let us bring in Monica McNutt. She was on the radio call with Tyler Murray on ESPN New York. How was that radio call tonight, Monica, down the stretch?
Woo! Pito, how professional am I supposed to be in this moment? Because, guys, all of the stats just bear out what the Knicks were able to do. 70% of the time, the team that wins Game 1 goes on to win. In the Jalen Brunson era here in New York, Game 1 wins have almost automatically meant victory. There's an outlier when you look at that Indiana series before this team got injured a couple years back. And then there's so many stats out there about a team that sweeps, as the Knicks did, facing a team that had to go to a 7-game series. History, statistically, is on the Knicks' side. And for them to show up in that 4th quarter late, the 25 points from OG Anunoby and Jalen Brunson. I heard you, Pito, the 15 rebounds from Josh Hart. Even Karl-Anthony Towns making the adjustment when he came back in to defend Victor Wembanyama without fouling him. These guys are on the brink of doing something so special, y'all. And those "Let's Go Knicks" chants drowned out that "Go Spurs Go" chant easily by the 4th quarter, and it was a sight to behold for this fan base and, of course, for these players who continue to say the job is not done.
Yeah, you know, Monica, as we've watched this team, especially during this run, the thing that keeps coming back to me is they're hard to kill. And the thought was, as much as the team struggled in pockets of this game, just keep it close. Like, it just felt like just keep it close and see what happens when you get to the pressure situations, because they seem to be built that way. Was there any doubt once you got to the fourth quarter and they were able to build a little bit of a lead that this was going to go their way?
I think you felt it starting to shift here in the building, Han, in the third quarter. The third quarter, the Spurs shot 0 for 9 from the three-point line, and they actually turned the ball over more than the Knicks did, in addition to the Knicks starting to get to the free throw line. So then you felt like, okay, things are starting to come to balance, because as poorly as the Knicks played in the first half, they were still in the ball game. But by the time you got to the fourth quarter, the Knicks go on their run, the Spurs respond. I thought it was what the Knicks were able to do defensively and the willpower of Jalen Brunson and OG Anunoby. No, they eliminated doubt for me when you looked up and saw what they were beginning to do, because as much as folks want to point to, guys, 11 in a row, who'd you play? People forget that this team in particular, when it comes to fourth quarters, and I heard you say it too, Wally, they have been tested in fourth quarters, and they do know how to respond when it comes to fourth quarters, and they should be given credit to that for that, because it showed up here tonight.
And Monica, I just want to build on that too, because as we watch this game, Knicks down by 8 after the first quarter, down by 7 at halftime. Or after this, down 7 at halftime. End of the third quarter, tie it up, and then win by 10. What is it about this team that makes them, not only against Cleveland in Game 1, the same thing on the 44-11 run, but now in the finals against a team that saw this Knicks team do that? How are they still able to be successful and be so much better late in games? The defense you mentioned, but what else do you sense that makes them consistently able to keep finding ways?
There is a confidence and an expectation, Novak. That's the simplest way that I can put it. And whether you want to chalk that up to this group being veterans, if you will, even though as a collective, this is a new experience in these here finals, but there is a confidence and there's an expectation. The belief that you got Jalen Brunson on your squad, he's an outstanding closer. For OG Anunoby, the belief that the way that he has been playing throughout this postseason is not a fluke, and that level of efficiency, y'all, as if on cue, showed up in the fourth quarter, right? Even Mikal Bridges, who, let's be honest, we don't see him at the free throw line a ton, but he knocked down 2 huge free throws in the fourth. And so I think there's a real expectation of one another, and there's a confidence in one another that even if one guy doesn't have it, he's got a teammate that's giving it to him verbally. I think from our vantage point up here, we could see down into the Knicks huddle. And Jose Alvarado, true to who he has been since he's joined the squad, was the guy up, talking late, encouraging his guys, like making sure that everyone knew that this was going to be a moment that the Knicks would rise to the level.
Monica, Karl Anthony Towns, I thought, was outstanding, the way he neutralized Victor Wembanyama. What were your thoughts on that matchup between Cat and Victor Wembanyama?
Guys, I'm going to let us behind the curtain a little bit. We roll with this team a lot, right? There are a few times this season where I feel like you can see Karl Anthony Towns' excitement about facing somebody. He's cool. He says the right things to the media. We know how talented he is. But I think he really relishes this matchup, Wally. And so he knew that particularly late in this ball game, it meant, again, another moment where these guys have confidence and accountability to one another and expectation. In the third quarter, I don't know if y'all caught it, but in the third quarter, Mikal Bridges tells him, you have to defend him and keep your hands out of there. Like it was a moment that they shared on the floor. Sure enough, in the fourth quarter, he does return to that. And so I think for him, the opportunity to be aggressive and to prove who he is versus the face of the league, which is fine, both offensively, defensively, and as a facilitator, is something that he is really excited about in this moment. And it's not necessarily about showing anybody up, but you don't get to this stage without being one of the best competitors to play the game of basketball. And so I think he's really excited about this matchup.
All right, Monica, great stuff as always. We'll talk to you on Friday, okay?
Pito, do you like my brooch?
Everything looks like it matches, Monica. Everything's matching, right? I mean, you're color coordinated in every regard.
I think it's the lucky
not?
one. I'm going to get all of you guys brooches for the next game. I feel like it's a thing we need to add. It's our good luck.
Well, if they win the championship, I'll wear whatever you want me to wear. How's that?
There we go.
All right, Monica. I'll talk to you soon. I got a little something right.
Our guys, we felt we didn't play well. I'm sure San Antonio felt that they didn't play well, too. And obviously, it's good to learn from, you know, especially when you didn't feel like you played well. It's good to learn from a win. You know, in the first half, they kicked our behind in transition. They got out the way we calculated. They had 24 fast break points in the first half. in the second half, they had 9 fast break points, so we did a better job of getting back. We got to get back. We got to load. We can't buddy run because they have quick, athletic players, and then you got Wemby coming, and he could shoot the 3 or get to the rim. You know, we were more efficient ourselves in transition in the second half, and we got to keep trying to push the pace because these guys are too good to go against their set defense all the time. You know, our ability to crash and not only crash, but more importantly, turn the offensive rebounds into second chance points was huge. You know, getting 23 second chance points compared to their 14 was big, especially with the amount of free throws that they had compared to ours. We had to find other ways to score. Did a nice job taking care of the basketball in the second half. First half, we had 8 turnovers. Second half, obviously 1 turnover, so we had an opportunity to score more. You know, we got to keep getting to Champagne. Champagne had 5 threes in the first half, and we did a better job of closing out to him and trying to get him off the 3-point line. You know, and then, you know, going down the line with our guys, Landry Shamet was huge off the bench with his 13 points. Not only that, defensively, he was huge for us. You know, OG got it going in the second half. OG was huge for us in the second half. He hit some big threes. You know, you look at Josh Hart's line being 1 for 5 from the field, and the guy had 15 rebounds and 4 steals, and he made some unbelievable defensive plays, and he helped us tremendously in transition. So heck of a job by Josh. And then, you know, Jalen, he was the MVP in the second half. He was huge for us. He did what MVP candidates are supposed to do. He carried us home. We put the ball in his hands, and he got it done for us down the stretch. But a good win. We have to keep taking it one game at a time and stay present and see what happens.
First question here on the left, Malika.
Malika Andrews, ESPN. Congratulations on the win. You mentioned the play of Jalen Brunson, and obviously he had to deal with that knee injury early on, the ankle injury. We saw him go to the back. How did you see him come through this game? And then also, what do you expect the next 24 hours to look like before you have to go to battle again?
Yeah, you know, I'm too emotional, and you know, when I get caught up in injuries. So when he got hurt and he went out, Jose, let's go. And I was about to throw Tyler Kolek in the game too. He came back. Jalen's tough as nails, and to me, he didn't seem like he had any effect afterwards. I haven't talked to our medical people. He didn't look like it was bothering him down the stretch, and so I think he's okay.
Yep. Coach right here. Coach, right here.
Oh, my bad.
I mean, we've seen it all time and again with Jalen. But, you know, what was the difference between his first 3 quarters and then what he did in that last 7.5 minutes? I know he's hunting Champagne a little bit, but what did you see there that got him going?
Yeah, he's a gamer, man. He you know, in the biggest moments, you know, he shows up, and that's what MVPs are supposed to do. We put the ball in his hands. We said we were going to live and die with him, and he went and he got it done for us, and that's happened time after time after time after time. He got to his spots, and he made plays. Now, on top of that, our guys spaced the floor correctly. You know, when you're playing against San Antonio and you have a defensive anchor like Wemby back there, your spacing has to be right. And if that ball gets sprayed, you know, we know Wemby's in the paint. And when the ball gets sprayed, guys got to make plays. And Josh was great with his quick DHOs. Guys were great shooting the ball. Guys were great having a second drive. And those are things you got to try to do against this team because Wemby is going to gravitate towards the ball when you drive it. And, you know, again, I give our guys credit, especially starting with Jalen, because he made some huge plays which drew Wemby in even more. But give our guys credit for trying to play fast down the stretch and making sure the floor was spaced when Jalen drove the basketball. Spaced correctly.
Mike, kind of with that, when Wemby's not in the paint, he's usually challenging a jump shooter, and that person usually misses. How much of an emphasis, though, is when Wemby's outside of the paint to shoot the ball and help lead to the 23-second chance points? Like, how aggressive do your guys need to be when he is challenging shots so that Cat can come in and get some of that stuff?
Yeah, you know, they're going to put a small guy on Cat quite a bit. And, you know, when they do that, we want Cat to hang out in the dunker. You know, we don't want him, you know, around the three-point line. We'd rather have Josh there. And we know Wemby's still going to be down the floor. So, you know, Cat is going to hopefully have an opportunity to get offensive rebounds. And if he doesn't, Josh has to shoot the ball if he's open, or he's got to make quick decisions with the basketball. DHO here, DHO there, or touch the paint, play off a two, and spray it. So we're trying to keep it as simple for our guys as possible, and they got to take advantage of where Wemby is because he's just so impactful defensively.
We're just going to keep fighting no matter what. You know, we all just hungry and desperate. That's all we're going to be, you know, every single day, every single game. So,
Akil, why does this team seem to play their best ball when they're playing from behind?
I mean, obviously you don't want to play behind, but I think it's just when adversity hits, you know, who you're going to be. And I think, you know, when adversity hits, you know, we're a tough team mentally and physically. So just keep, you know, staying the course and just keep fighting no matter what.
What do you think of the quality of this win?
It's good, man, but, you know, 0-0, get ready for the next one.
You have to expect that this game would be a physical one. How do you think you handled the level of physicality that they came with?
I think it's okay. I think we can be more physical. You know, we'll watch the tape and be ready for game two.
The first time you guys started a series on the road, how does it feel to take home court advantage in game one?
It's all right, man. It's 0-0. Just worry about game two.
What can you say about Jalen, and especially after he got banged up in the first quarter, and then to still be able to come through in the clutch down the stretch?
Yeah, he's just toughness. You know what I'm saying? That's really it. It's just straight toughness, nothing else.
Okay, you're talking about your bench, the way they weathered the storm when Jalen went out?
Yeah, I mean, everybody stepped up. Everybody's tough. Everybody mentally ready, physically ready to be in that moment and keep fighting and playing hard.
How do you feel like Cat handled the matchup with Wemby? It seemed like he was really just taking what he was giving him.
Yeah, Cat was unbelievable, you know, on both ends of the floor, being aggressive, you know, being good with fouls, you know, scoring, passing, rebounding, blocking shots. Great game for him. We're going to keep needing him. We're going to need more every single game.
How tough is it when you know that Wemby is always lurking in the paint and the weak side?
Yeah, it's tough, man. You know, just his length is just unmatched, and, you know, he got good IQ. That definitely causes, you know, trouble. You know, he's a deep boy for a reason. But no, definitely, for sure.
Grit and what this club possesses in that regard.
I don't know. You know, I guess obviously that's a tough team. You know, we were going back and forth. I think they were up 13 or 15 or whatever in that second half, and we just continued to chip away, continue to get stops, play, you know, our brand of basketball. You know, maybe, but you know, we gotta learn from this and, you know, be better on Thursday.
Why are you guys surprised at all with how the bench has been playing?
Am I surprised? Nah, nothing that those guys do surprised me. Landry's been in the league for, 8 years? You know, just a constant pro. He gets his work and he watches film. He has toughness. Mitch, same thing, toughness, grit, Deuce, you know, Jose, like all those guys have been around the league for a long time. They're all professionals. They all work on their craft, and you know, we have, you know, the ultimate trust in those guys.
How would you describe the quality of this win tonight?
It was good. Can't think about it too much. Now we got to go tomorrow, watch film, learn from a win. They're going to come out, obviously, with a lot of energy, sense of urgency, sense of desperation, and we got to do the same thing.
Josh, you guys had 23 second chance points. Obviously, getting Wemby out of the paint, positive. How important, though, or emphasized is it to shoot jumpers when he is out of the paint, so you guys have opportunities to collapse on those?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is, you know, we like you say, you want to get shots up. I think there was one, you know, just for it's on the top of the line. JB drove in the paint, got a couple of shot fakes. Wemby jumped, and he tried to hit, you know, Mitch, and the ball went out of bounds. Ones like that, you just it doesn't matter what shot you get up, just get it up on the rim, because now you got Wemby contesting it. He's kind of out to play. Now you have Mitch is down there by himself. So we got to make sure we're conscious of that and attacking the offensive glass.
to impact the game without scoring?
Yeah, that's just who he is. He's always been that way. I can't explain it. He just has a knack for doing things like that in crucial times as well. So it's a credit to who he is as a player.
Over here, Jared left.
Jared Schwartz, New York Post. Jalen, you guys come back in so many games. Resilience has been the story of your season. Is there a sense of calm or familiarity when you're in that situation, trailing in the second half?
I don't want to say calmness, but I think we know what we have to do. I think we're a pretty together group. Be able to trust each other and still just continue to fight, have each other's back, and just know that we got to keep chipping away. It's just a credit to the mentality we have as a team. But, I mean, we can't just be satisfied with that. We have a long way to go. We have a lot of things we can do to be better. But I'm happy we came with a win.
Steve.
Just in that fourth quarter, you had been struggling a bit. Does anything change, or is it just keep doing what you do?
I guess a mixture of both, but continue to trust the things I've worked on my entire life. I think my teammates having the confidence in me also gives me an extra boost as well. And like I said, we're together out there, and whatever happens, we're just going to fight for each other.
All the way back right, Dan.
Dan Devine, Yahoo Sports. OG, 12 points in the fourth quarter, a couple of huge threes, won the pull-up over Wembanyama. Just what enabled you to get going there late in the game?
Just my teammates finding me and just being aggressive, being ready to shoot, shooting with confidence, and yeah.
Let's go right here on the left in the second row. Microphone's right behind you.
Jalen, Alana from Amazon Prime Brazil. About the NBA Cup, what do you think there was more similarities or differences in this game, and would you elaborate on that, please?
I think the atmosphere is kind of similar. Obviously, we're playing home and away now, but I think no matter wherever you put that team, the San Antonio Spurs, they're going to come ready to play, and that's a credit to like their culture, the coaching staff, and the players that are over there. Nothing too different, but I mean, they come to play regardless.
Ian, right here.
Jalen, Ian O'Connor with The Athletic. I think at one point you were 5 for 18 from the field, and yet you really imposed your will on the game in the fourth quarter. Where does that strength and composure come from on a night when you're struggling from the floor to still have that kind of an impact on the game in the fourth quarter?
I think it starts with my confidence. It comes with my work ethic. But I think most importantly, knowing we're on the road and knowing my teammates have my back, I think that's the biggest thing in an environment like this. They trusted having me, they trusted having them. It's got us to this point. And so, I mean, I'm very thankful for them. I mean, every single night we go out there together.
And right front center.
Hi, OG. Congrats on the win tonight. So for you to finally playing your first final games, like doing your ritual, like I know you always like touch the floor when you go on the court. Like, what goes through your mind, like compared to like your last run with Toronto?
Oh, just thankful to be out there. Thankful to be playing with my teammates, the coaches, just enjoying the moment.
Jalen, you guys were down 20 twice over this one.
On your left.
You guys were down 20 twice in the second round against the Celtics last year, came back to win. You guys were down 20 in the first game against the Cavaliers, 22, came back to win. Down 14 today in the third quarter, came back. Why are you guys comfortable when you're down big? What's power in that?
I mean, it's a position that we obviously don't want to be in, but it's always a next play mentality. We can control the things that we can control, and teams are going to go on runs. Things are going to happen. It's all about how we bounce back, and so we continue to find a way and just kept chipping away. We knew that one play wasn't going to bring us all the way back, but we just kept chipping away.
Jalen, here on the right, sir. In the fourth quarter,
Did you feel like the Spurs were kind of out of energy based on the fact that they came out of such a hard series? You guys had a little rest. Did you feel like that gave you a little spark in the fourth?
Not necessarily. I think it's a mixture of us playing good defense and us obviously getting a little lucky. But they come ready to play more than any other team that we faced. And so no, we have the utmost respect for them. We know that we got to be ready for game 2. We just found a way to make plays at the end of the game.
Robert in the center.
Robert O'Connell, Wall Street Journal. Jalen, Mike mentioned, this wasn't your guys' best game. You didn't feel like you'd play your best game. He expected the same on the Spurs. In that fourth quarter stretch going towards 2 minutes, you guys hadn't scored for a while. You had that tip out for the offensive board, relocate into the 3. Did you sense it might take a kind of choppy, ugly play like that to pull this out in crunch time?
I think it just goes back to having each other's back. You never know what's really going to happen. And so being together on the court, players are going to happen. You can't really script what's really going to go on. Just making sure we're going out there playing for each other. And we're all going to have moments, I think, when we have trust in our teammates and stuff like that, like the way he was playing in the fourth quarter. The defensive stats we had as a team, like we just kept sticking together. And I know it sounds like a broken record, but it really made a difference.
Front right.
Jalen, Minor Castillo desde la cancha. At the end of the game, you hit that big shot against David Vassell. But before that you hit the shot, you reject the McHale's screen. What do you read in that play to reject that screen?
It was more of just instinct. Just being able to kind of read how the defenders.
Allows you guys to have those open-ended in-game conversations to kind of level out those emotions.
Just, this team has unity, it has camaraderie, and it was special. It was something I thought we showed the world last year. It got us far in the playoffs last year, and just kind of growing off of that from last year, having another year with each other, even more familiarity. Last year was a lot of change with me coming to the team, Kale, and just, obviously so many moving parts. So I think it was, it's been something that has been building, and it's been more trust has been built over time, and it's just something that has worked tremendously well for us.
Right in front.
Ian Begley, ESPN. Carl, what's your approach defending Wembanyama?
We just try to make it difficult. He's an amazing player. He's a one-of-a-kind player in this NBA the league has ever seen, and we just try to make it as difficult as possible.
Christian?
Christian Winfield, New York Daily News. You guys were down 20 twice in Boston last year. You guys were down 22 against the Cavs in game 1 of the conference finals. Today you're down 14. What is it about this team when you guys are down big that you guys don't quit? Why do you guys have that confidence no matter how big you guys are down?
It's something that's in the city. You feel that energy in the city, the grit, the grind, the hard work you got to put in to make it in the city. I think we reflect all our fans and their lifestyles and what it takes to make it in New York City when we step on that court with the Knicks jersey.
Over on your left, Steve.
Carl, Steve Ashburner, NBA.com. You had a 9-point edge, your team, in second chance points in a 10-point victory. How important was that, the work on the offensive glass? And Mike had talked about the imperative of capitalizing when Wembanyama is not in the paint. What's your approach then?
I mean, we got to execute our game plan at all times, regardless of what the situation is, and being disciplined in our approach. I thought that today we did a good job of having a disciplined approach on defense. Offense, we didn't shoot the best, but I said it on the court, the difference between this game 1 here, and game 1 in Cleveland, against Cleveland, was our offense didn't show up and our defense didn't show up, and at one time we just had to make a miraculous run to get back in the game. But today our offense didn't show up till late, and our defense was there from the beginning, and that's what saved us. So if we can find a way to get the offense going and continue to improve our defense, not only just keep it the way it was tonight, but improve on it, we'll give ourselves a chance to win every night.
So Fred, here, go ahead.
Carl, Fred Katz from The Athletic. You were especially aggressive driving with Wemby guarding you, especially early in the game. What kind of just mental persistence does that take to keep going at a guy who's that level of a defender and shot blocker over and over again and find success?
You just trust your work and you trust your decision making. And I always say about being aggressive in playmaking. It may not be for the shot, but to get someone else a shot or get the hockey assist going. So for me, when I go out there, I just try to be aggressive in playmaking. And early in the game, you never know what's actually the defense is going to give you. You don't know what's going to unfold, but I just wanted to be aggressive, especially early in the game 1 of the NBA Finals, and trying to bring that energy for our team.
Front row on your right.
Hi, Kat. Chelsea Sherrod with SNY. You had to expect that this would be a very physical game. We also saw Josh got in a bit of foul trouble early as well. How do you think you guys handled that physicality, and how do you balance being aggressive but also staying disciplined?
You know, it's all about executing offensively, not putting your hands in a place where they could draw fouls, and also in being aggressive, not making stupid fouls as well. So even for me, I think in my aggression today, I committed probably say like 2 fouls that I wish I didn't commit. But at the end of the day, like you said, I think everyone in the building knew the game was going to be physical. It's going to be high energy. Their fans brought it, but we knew we had to execute and stay disciplined throughout the game because it was going to be a hard-fought game, and it surely was.
Steve here on the left.
Hey, Carl. Steve Popper, Newsday. You've seen it now for 2 years, but you see Jalen limp to the locker room, comes back out, fourth quarter heroics. Is there ever a doubt in your mind, 1, he's coming back, or 2, you put the ball in his hands, he's going to do what he did?
No, with the balls in his hands, I'm never surprised. I'll tell you that last shot, I think it was like a shoot floater. That was nasty. I ain't gonna lie. But, when we all saw him nipple off, obviously we was all worried. Not only because, he's Jalen Brunson, but more because he's our brother. And we're a family in our locker room, and, we want to just worried about his health. But when we were on the court and I saw him walking back out to the bench, it's a relief feeling just to know he's safe. That's really, at the end of the day, all we care about is his safety.
Last one standing on your right.
Over here, Kat. Joe Masiri, Pix 11. I think I heard you saying as you were walking off the court that was like a prize fight. If that's the case, do you think this is just round 1, and what's it mean for the tone of the rest of the series?
So there's a lot more basketball to be played. But like I've said to y'all and the media who's followed us on our journey here, every game has to be approached like it's 0-0. You got to come out with that same energy, intensity, and desperation like it's game 1 of any playoff series. So, we got 48 hours to rest up and do it all over again, and even at a higher level.
All right, thank you.